Hello, Year 5. Hope you are all well and welcome to your first guided reading session. Now, obviously, we would usually have a class book to read and we would be doing lots of book talk. That's going to be a little bit tougher with obviously the home learning you are doing. We found a way around it. So we're going to have a kind of a mix of some reading skills lessons and some reading comprehension history to work through. This first one today is going to be a reading skills session. Okay, we've done this before. This is a skim and scan challenge. You're going to have 30 seconds when I get the text up to have a quick read, have a quick skim of it. Then some questions will come up and you'll try your best to answer them. So your 30 seconds, you don't have to pause the video. I'm going to time it on here. Your 30 seconds starts now. Half your time. Okay, so a bit of a mathsy skim and scan challenge here on prime numbers. We have looked at those in maths, funnily enough. First of all, find and copy the word in the first sentence that is closest in meaning to word. That is a little bit strange. What word means word? Now, if we look at the first one, no doubt you recognise the term prime number. That is the answer. That first one is another way of saying word. Next question, what is a prime number always greater than? Hopefully we would already know this, but it says in the next sentence, you might also know that it means any whole number that is greater than 1. So it has to be bigger than 1. Then the last question, again, hopefully we remember this from our maths lessons. What are a prime number's only factors? It says again, next to it, it has no factors other than 1 and itself. So for example, 7 is a prime number. The only factors that 7 has are 7 and 1, just the two of them. So I thought I'd quickly recap this word here, vipers. This is our kind of what bases our guided reading skills on. Our V looks at vocabulary, our I is inference, P for prediction, E for explain, R for retrieve, and S for summarize. Now, these are all really, really important reading skills. We look at these in our reading lessons. We also look at some of these in our English lessons. And I know, for example, things like vocabulary, we're quite good at. We're good at picking out vocabulary. We're good at improving vocabulary. I know we are also very good at retrieving things from the text, so finding information from the text, just like the skim and scan challenge that we have done. What we're going to work on today is this one. Inference is a really, really important skill which you often might hear teachers and parents talking about. But what actually does inference mean? We're going to look at that and work on it a little bit today. Now, inference basically means we are pulling out, we are reading between the lines, we are detectives. Okay, when you retrieve something from the text, it's very simple. You find what colour was the dog, and you find the dog was brown, you just simply find the word. Whereas in inference, you have to try and read between the lines and infer and find out the meaning. So, for example, here we have a person sat on the top of a kind of a high cliff here. Now, the question here, what was the temperature like when this photograph was taken? Now, we have no information on this picture that tells us that number. We don't have anything like a thermometer. So we have to look very carefully and try and be an inference detective and figure out from the information we have in this picture what the temperature was. Now, hopefully we can see this person's got a kind of big coat on with a hood up. That probably tells me it's most likely to be a little bit cold. We do have the sun in the distance, but it's quite cloudy. They've got a kind of a thick, puffy, padded coat with a hood up. So I think in this instance, although the sun is there, from how this person's wearing the coat, I would think this is a bit of a colder day. Next one, what time of day do you think it is? How do you know? Now again, there's no watch or no clock in this picture. So what can we use? Well, we can use the sun. Now the sun is quite low in the sky. So it could be either just rising, it could be early in the morning, or it could be just setting. It could be the evening. So it could be either or. Again, it's quite dark and cloudy. For me, I think that this is going to be the evening as the sun is setting. We've obviously completed quite a big climb or a big walk, so most likely they'll be finishing in the evening, but it could be the morning. Next one, why could the person's drink be described as well deserved? As you see here, they've got a kind of a bottle of something in their hand. Might even be beer. Why would this be well deserved? Well, I think they've got kind of a walking stick here, a walking pole. We've got kind of a rucksack here, like a mountain climber might wear. So I think it's quite simple here to realise that it's well deserved because they've probably climbed up this mountain and having a good, well-earned drink at the top because they've worked hard to climb this mountain. Next one, what do you expect is in this person's backpack? Well, as we've kind of discussed, they've been climbing up, they've got their walking stick, they've got their big woolly coat, thick coat on, they've got their kind of active trousers on with lots of different pockets on for all the different tools. So there could be a tent in this bag, there could be a mattress in this bag, there could be food supplies, it could be bottles of water, lots of different supplies, first aid kits, plasters, bandages, things like that, all the things that someone might need on a mountain climbing trip. So again, none of the answers to these questions are explicitly in this picture. We've been detectives and we've looked carefully and figured out what the answers could be. Now we have another one here. Now what I'd like you to do is I would like you in a second to pause this video and you're going to have a think about these questions. Again, just like we did on the previous slide, having a look at the picture and glean what information you can that will help you answer these questions here. So in a second, pause it, have a think, and then we'll share back, I'll share back and explain what I think the answers were. So have a pause now. Okay, hope you had a good think, maybe a good chat with mum or dad. Now, what can you tell about the temperature of the water? Now again, there's no thermometer or anything in here, but we've got quite a shocked look on the girl's face. We've also got them wearing a kind of a swimming costume with sleeves, which might indicate that it's maybe slightly cold. It's going to be a chilly sea temperature. Often the sea is quite cold as well. Next one's a bit simpler. Is this girl a confidence swimmer? Explain your answer. Now we can clearly see she has some armbands on her arms. So this would suggest she's probably not the most confident. She needs a bit of extra help or buoyancy from those armbands. Next one, how do you know the water is shallow? Well, she stood and we can see all her top half outside of the water. We can also see the waves coming in, and waves often come crashing in towards the shore where the beach is, so it's often very shallow there as well. So lots of new things we can use there. And then lastly, how do you know that the sun is shining? Well, firstly, it's quite bright. The last picture is quite dark with the clouds. You can see it's quite bright here, but also she is wearing some sunglasses. So again, we have been detectives. We have looked at that picture, taken the information, and we've been able to answer those questions. Now, obviously, when we read, we don't look at pictures, we look at words, we look at sentences. So we're going to do the same thing now, but we're going to do it with words and sentences instead. We're still going to be detectives. There's going to be three options here. So dark clouds gather on the horizon. Does this mean it's nearly nighttime? Is that what you can gain from that sentence? Does it mean a storm is coming? Or does it mean Thor has just arrived from Asgard? Three options there. You can have a pause in a sec, have a little think, and think which of those three options is the most likely to be true about that sentence. Have a pause now. Okay, so it could be all three of these things, and that's part of the skill of inference. It could be it's nearly nighttime, it could be a storm is coming, and believe it or not, if it was in a film, it could be that Thor has just arrived from Asgard. However, part of your inference skills is thinking what is the most likely to happen? what's the most realistic thing we can glean from this information. Now, I think Thor arriving from Asgard, no, that's most likely not going to happen. A storm is coming. Could be, it's nearly night time, it could be. However, night time, you normally think of the moon, you normally think of the sky getting dark rather than there being dark clouds. So I'm going to say it's not that. I think the most likely is that a storm is coming. When a storm comes, you often get lots of dark clouds. It all gets a bit gloomy as some rain or some thunder and lightning is about to come as well. So hopefully we manage to whittle down those options and end up with the same as me. Next one. The girls had finally arrived at the venue. They held each other tight in a mock effort to contain themselves. Again, we're going to be detectives, and we have 3 possible options. Does this mean that they are scared of what is about to happen? Does it mean they are tired from the journey and they're helping each other fall asleep? Or does it mean that they are so excited for what they're about to see, they don't really want to contain themselves, they just want to enjoy what's going on? Have a pause and have a think now. Okay, bit trickier this one. We're going to start from the top and work our way down. So again, what's the most realistic? They are scared of what is about to happen. Now, we've got the girls who have finally arrived at the venue. Now, if you've finally done something, oh, I finally managed to do this, it's normally because you've been waiting to do something. You've finally arrived at the airport to go on holiday. You can't wait to go on holiday. You finally finished school. It's been a really rubbish day. You finally managed to open your Christmas presents. Whatever it is, it's something you look forward to. So you're not going to look forward to doing something if they're scared. They've also arrived at a venue. A venue's often where like the O2 or Wembley Arena, something where festivals or music concerts happen. So again, I don't think they're going to be scared. We've also got a mock effort to contain themselves. Now, a mock is kind of like a practice. So they're not really trying to contain themselves. They're kind of joyfully and playfully pretending to contain themselves. So I don't think they're going to be scared. You don't look forward to doing something that's going to be scary. Number 2, they are tired from the journey, so they are helping each other fall asleep. Again, they finally arrived at the venue, so that could be they're traveling for quite a long time. They could be a bit tired, but again, they held each other tight in a mock effort to contain themselves. I don't think you are containing yourselves if you are tired. If you're trying to contain yourself, it means you're really excited, you're really looking forward to something, and you're trying to contain that emotion. So I don't think they're going to be tired. Which leads me to the number 3. They are so excited for what they're about to see, they don't really want to contain themselves. This is definitely, for me, going to be the one. I think they are arriving to see a band play. Often you see this on films, kind of people jumping up and down, holding each other. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. I can't believe we're about to see Taylor Swift or Little Mix or whoever it is perform. They're definitely, I think, excited for this. But again, you've got to whittle down that information, read it carefully, look at the language used to kind of get rid of the ones that are wrong and narrow down your options. So I think 3 for this one is going to be the correct one. Okay, last one here. Grabbing his keys, Dad stormed out, slamming the door shut behind him. The noise echoed throughout the silence of the house. First option, is Dad very angry? Second option, is Dad just going to work? Is it a normal day? Or is Dad rehearsing a scene for his play? Have a pause and a think now. Okay, so let's start from the bottom again and work our way up. So Dad is rehearsing a scene for his play. Potentially, he could be rehearsing a scene for his play. But there's lots of clues in his. We have stormed, grabbing, slamming, and the silence of the house doesn't suggest it's something he is practicing. It's something kind of, it lends itself more towards a different option here. So I don't think he's going to be rehearsing for a play, not the most obvious option from here. That is going to work. Again, we've got lots of language here. It doesn't sound like a normal day, really. Storming out, slamming the door behind him, noise echoing through the silence of the house. I don't think this is going to be just a normal day of work with Dad. Is Dad angry? Hopefully we all got this. I think yes, Dad is angry. He's not getting his keys, he's grabbing them. He's storming out of the door. He's slamming the door behind him. These are all things you do when you're angry. Another clue, the noise echoed throughout the silence of the house. Normally when one person's angry, especially a mum or a dad, everyone else is kind of a bit quiet and a bit scared, so it means everyone else is a bit quiet as well. So I think definitely that lends itself to that first one there. So hopefully, as we went through, you managed to pick out some of those key skills as well. We're going to do a reading comprehension tomorrow, where you can put these inference detective skills into action. It's a really good skill. Remember, we're kind of like a detective. We're reading between the lines, trying to solve what is going on. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. And then, as I said, we'll have a reading comprehension tomorrow to work through as well. Have a lovely rest of your day, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.